Hello. Hi guys. Happy Monday. Welcome back to Beauty with Grace Devotionals. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a restful weekend. Hope you were able to have some self-care and you were able to rest, rejuvenate, recuperate from the week, from the hassles of the week. Parents, I know, are shopping for books, and it could be a bit hectic during the week trying to balance children at home, doing work, and getting the needful for them for school, to prepare them for the new school term. So I hope everyone is doing well, hope everyone is healthy and doing fine mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and otherwise. Hope you are all doing great. Those of you on vacation, do enjoy. Spending time with family is absolutely necessary, and I think time should be taken away sometime from the regular hustle and bustle, up and down of regular everyday life, to just catch your breath for a minute. So those of you who are able to do that, great. Those of you who are not, I hope that you still take time at home, even if it's to have movie night where you do some fries and chicken or some homemade burgers or homemade pizza. I hope you're doing something that says to you relaxation and holiday, even though it may be a staycation. Because I may not be able to check in at a guest house or leave the country. I hope you're still able to do something that will make you feel like this July, August break in the normal school term, that would have, you gotta find something to do that would say to you that, hey, we're on a break. Even if it's to go to the beach, like I said, and to cook and to go with the family, just to do something that breaks the monotony of everyday normal living. So today, as I said last week, I wanted to continue with our story about Brother Lazarus and Sister Mary and Sister Martha and Jesus. There, it was like a movie. I find it's a nice little movie here to read over and to go over and to pick out the little lessons in it. So I know we spoke last week about what did God say, and holding on to that, because Jesus did say in verse 4 that this will not be on, this sickness will not end in death. And we saw Lazarus did die, but the end didn't, he didn't stay there. Jesus kept his word, and we were able to see another miracle of Jesus with bringing a dead man back to life. But I'm going to read over from verse 21 again. I'm not going to start from verse 4, because there are just a couple of things that I wanted to highlight here again. Verse 21 says, Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord. She replied, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews, Jesus will take your time before, last week we read how he stayed 2 days where he was before he even make a move. Jesus still there. He didn't even enter the game place yet. Now Jesus had not entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, just like her sister, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Exact same words as her sister, as if so. You know them talk about that before, and they must be good repeated to themselves a couple times. If Jesus was here, Lazarus would have never died. They probably good said that in their grief and trying to console one another. They probably said that a couple times to themselves. Both of them repeated away from one another at two separate times. Same words. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? So even the people who were there, some of the Jews, even they and all had in their mind, this man, but you could have stopped this from happening. You could have prevented this from happening. Poor Jesus. But I want to highlight, let me read on. Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there for 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. You know, recently Elder Sterling was teaching us that Jesus' life was so marked by prayer that prayer was a very, very, very important part of Jesus' life. And he, you know, went through different verses in Luke and in Acts where he went up on a very high mountain to pray. He separated himself and he went to pray. Even when I spoke about in the Garden of Gethsemane a few weeks ago that Jesus prayed 3 times about the same situation. And here again, you see him praying, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Him again praying. Not that he could not just say, Lazarus, come forth, because he said, I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here. So he didn't have to do it, but he did it anyway, so that they would see and so that they who witnessing, it will benefit them. Prayer is important. So I'm going back to verse 21 and verse 32. Both sisters, Lord, if you were here, my brother would not have died. Verse 38, verse 37. Some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? So everybody in this scenario present find like, Jesus, if you had only come, this man would not die. If you had only shown up, you could have prevented this man from dying. But I want to highlight a statement Sister Martha made. Jesus said to her in verse 25, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe? Do you believe this? 27 says, yes, Lord, she replied. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. Jesus asked her, if you believe that I am the resurrection and the life. My girl proceeded to make a statement of faith. Recently too, our sister Ali mentioned in our ladies chat, she sent it out to the ladies in church about knowing what our statement of faith is. That churches should have a statement of faith. Any church should have for their members to know what their statement of faith is, what they believe in, theological principles and doctrine that we hold to, that we believe. For instance, like Sister Martha here, that Jesus was indeed the Son of God, that Jesus was fully God and fully man when he came to the earth, but he was fully human. So you should know what statements of faith you hold to, and what do you believe in. This is what Jesus was asking Mary, and she proceeded to explain, this is what I believe. She replied, I believe that you are the Messiah. I believe that you are the Son of God. I believe that you are the same Son of God who is to come. into the world. So Martha basically issued her statement of faith as her response to Jesus. I believe that you are indeed the Son of God. Because there are some doctrines, there are some beliefs where some people believe that Jesus and are taught that Jesus is just an ordinary prophet like Elijah, or he's just one of the prophets who came, but not the Son of God. That he was not, he's another belief is that he's a force. He's not really and truly God. So you have to know what your statement of faith is. I mean, when Sally shared that, it was just like, no, for real, what do you believe? What you're a Christian. You're a Christian for years. Exactly what are the things, and what are your statements of faith? What are you holding on to? What are you going down belly for? That if somebody come and tell you, no, this is not true, that I believe this because so and so and so and so and so and so. And this is what I have it written here. I write it in my Bible. And I said, I write in the Bible, I wrote. I said, but this was Martha's statement. This was, if we know nothing else that Martha believed, we have one of Martha's statements of faith here. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. If somebody asks you, what exactly, why should I be a Christian? Why should I follow the God that you're following? Why is your God the Almighty God and not mine? What we going to say, boy? Yes, yes, all here. And it is important, we're doing right now, I mentioned it before, that we're doing in your group right now, the importance of hiding God's word in your heart, the importance of knowing what you believe. Last week I went through with them the three Hebrew boys, why they stood firm as to why they didn't want to eat the king's delicacies and the king's food and drink the king's drink. And the four of them decided, no, we are going to hold to the fact that we just want vegetables and water, but why though? And so I left Daniel and went back to Leviticus and Exodus, where they got specific instructions from Moses. This is what you're supposed to eat, and this is what you're not supposed to eat. This is defiled substances, and you shouldn't touch it. That's what certain foods were to the three Hebrew boys, the Israelites. They had specific things that God told them at that point in time. This is what you should and should not eat. Don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat the other. And because they would have been taught that, and that information would have been handed down to them when they were captured by Nebuchadnezzar, because Nebuchadnezzar wanted the best of the youths. Youths were taken away from their parents, and adults who would have taught them certain things and still had to hold to the things that they believed in. What do you believe? What is your statement of faith? This is serious questions to ask yourself now. I know sometimes we go into church and we happily getting dressed and we walking in the house of the Lord with our Bibles cradled in our arms. But what here? Are you willing to defend and contend for the faith? Yeah, I'm asking us. Don't think I'm asking you, I'm asking us, myself as well. What here do you hold to? That if somebody comes with another doctrine, are you going to say, I refuse, I reject that, because this is what I believe and what I am holding to, because, and I could prove it. I could prove it because this is what the word of God says. And so when Martha was asked, Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though he die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe? To me, what Jesus asked her here, my girl had a different response. To me, it was a yes or no. Yes, I believe. I believe that you are the resurrection and the life. I believe that those who believe on you will have everlasting life. To me, that's the kind of response. But my girl went on to say, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God. And she went above, above what she asked, what he asked her, and gave a response saying, this is what I believe. And so I want to encourage us today. Just as the youth leaders are encouraging our youths at FCC at this point in time, Faith Contenders Community. You could go on our website and you will see what our statement of faith are, and you will understand and know. So before you click login, you can find out what these people believe, what theological principles and doctrines do they hold to, what are their statements of faith. When these people come together, what do they collectively believe in as a body, as a community of people? What do they believe in? You can find that out on our website. And it is important, if you're going to any church, find out, ask your pastor, what are our statements of faith? What do we believe? And it shouldn't just be because there are a lot of things going on out there, a lot of beliefs going out there. The minute your children enter into school and they start to do history, trust me, you will find your sons coming to ask you, but mommy, this history book is saying so and so, so and so, so and so. This teacher is teaching so and so, so and so, so and so. But we don't believe so and so. Yeah. So as early as school, my son is now went into Form 3. And they are already taught different things from what they're being taught. And so you have to make sure you are grounded in your mind to be able to pass on to them, just as the Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which they were renamed. When they came into their situation, even though they were captured by a different king in a different place away from those who would have taught them, they still held on to the word of God that was hidden in their hearts so that they wouldn't sin against God. That's what they held on to, what we were taught, what was handed down to them. And so you have to know what you believe to be able to hand something down to your children, to your kids, so that when they bounce up different beliefs and somebody else trying to shove different delicacies as an appetizer in front of them, they're able to resist it because this is what we believe. And so it moved on from just food. If you read Daniel chapter 1 and Daniel chapter 3, it moved from food to bowing down to an idol. And again, the three Hebrew boys had to say to themselves and to Nebuchadnezzar and all those who were looking on, yeah, if we had to die, we go die, because we were taught you should not bow to any idol. You should worship the one true and living God. And so it is important to know what your statement of faith is. I'm talking to believers today. Know what you believe. Know what you're standing for. Know what I am a representative of Jesus Christ. And this is what I am holding to. This is what I believe in. This is what I stand by. So we have to know what we believe. We have to know what we are holding to. We have to know what what this life that we live in, it must make sense to us, because if it's not making sense to us, you're not able to share it with somebody else effectively to win them over to Christ. In verse 38, verse 39, when Jesus said, take away the stone, he said, but Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, mind you, my girl who just issued his statement of faith, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there for 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? I am just saying, if you believe, you believe. This is Martha in her situation, believing that Jesus could raise her brother from the dead. But for us who are holding on to the fact that we are followers of Jesus Christ, you have to hold on to what you believe undoubtedly, so that despite what happens, nothing must be able to shake your faith. Not your circumstance, not your situation, nothing. What do you believe?